He traveled to the border to report on the impact that Trump's Remain in Mexico policy is having on migrants. Joining us now from El Paso is NBC News correspondent Cal Perry. Cal, what did you find out?
Hey, Joy, from that child separation policy to metering to now this MPP policy or Remain in Mexico, what we've seen consistently in Mexico amongst a very specific group of people is that it's sowing confusion. That group of people who are trying to come to America legally. These are just some of the faces of the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy. 70 people living in this one room of a small church.
If they're an MPP, they've been basically sentenced to be here in Juarez a year, maybe more.
Before finding a place to stay, migrants have to check in across town at a central processing facility. Right now, there are roughly 12,000 people waiting at this part of the border for the chance at an immigration hearing.
People here are growing impatient at times when they do not call anybody from to cross.
The confusion and frustration is evident. People are waiting months in a foreign land with no idea of how long it will take. What number are you? Do you know?
13,291.
13,291. How long will you wait, do you think?
Around 3 months, 15 days.
You've been here 3 months and 15 days.
3 months and 15 days.
Do you know how much longer you have to wait?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes.
Aquí todo el mundo está consciente del peligro y de las cosas que se viven en este país.
We are conscious.
The city of Juarez alone is approaching 900 murders so far this year. People are here from all over the globe, from Central America to Africa. Marembe fled violence. She asked us to keep her identity a secret. A gay woman from Uganda, she thought America would welcome her.
It's one country that was allowing human rights before, but I don't know why they're changing everything just like all of a sudden.
People like Dylan from the Hope Border Institute provide shelter and food, and somehow, almost inexplicably, a sense of optimism.
What we are doing at the border is core to who we are as Americans, because this is a country that has always stood for human rights for people across the globe. And our border is where we're going to define our identity as a country. We are not going to be defined by these human rights abuses.
Joy, two things that need mentioning on this story. First, Juarez is one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Somebody was shot and killed outside the government center just this week, outside that church. 2 shootings in just the past week, according to the people who are there. The second is that you have these smugglers who are preying on these locations where they know people are stranded, they're growing more frustrated, and they're providing them with that other option. We can take you across illegally. Joy?
Very quickly, is there any process at all for people to apply for asylum?
After maybe 4 court dates, 9 months, a judge can still turn you around. You can still be sent back from where you came from. There are only 3 immigration attorneys in this section of the border who are trying to help people. 12,000 people, 3 attorneys. Chances are incredibly low. It has changed the entire asylum process that America has known until now, this Remain in Mexico policy.
This is distressing. As a child of immigrants, it's depressing. Cal Perry, thank you so much for covering this. Thank you very much.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.